going to talk for a few minutes about Fastcall inbound routing and specifically around our lookup and our relationship between a record and a phone number. I always like to say this is November 2021, and we're looking at Fastcall version 7.45. So one thing I like to say is that Fastcall gives you the ability to set your outbound caller ID. What we're talking about here is the inbound caller ID that's received, which we will often say is the from number. So for example, if I'm looking through the application, I see that this contact called yesterday, 22 hours ago. If I click on it, there's a relationship between this record and the phone number, and the number they dialed is here. So this from number is how we'll define that. We're going to say this is the from number, but it is the caller ID used by Himanshu, right? As opposed to the caller ID used in our application to make an outbound call. So this lookup relationship exists in our application. If in fact that, and I can click through on his record, and his record is here. If the account has changed or any information changed, of course I would change that in Salesforce. If, let's say, that was a work number and it's now assigned to a different contact at that company, I could change that relationship. I could come in here and I could search. I could say, oh no, this is now Steve's number was assigned to Steve, let's say. I could then create the relationship between Steve and the phone number. But the relationship is created between the phone number, which we see on the inbound call, which is this from number, and the record in Salesforce. And there can only be one relationship. So each phone number can have one relationship to one record. So I can edit, I can create, so let's just say if I came into another record, so this call came in, so I have this call, I don't know anything about the from number, but we didn't, there's no matching record in Salesforce, but in this case I actually know this is a phone number that's not active, so I can actually block this. Application says it's already blocked. Or if I wanted to, I could delete it. You can see that this call, has a lookup because it was an outbound call. Outbound call generally will always have a lookup calling from the record. So it's really the inbound calls that we're trying to manage. So inside the application, the user can, I see here, Woodstown, New Jersey. This number came in. I can search. No records are found in Salesforce. If I knew who that was, I could create the record here. And until I can associate this number to a record, it's not going to have an association. Sometimes we'll say that's a widow. So inside of our settings, we're going to see a couple of different settings around that inbound lookup. So down here it's an admin setting. If I go under call handling and then inbound, these are phone number search settings. There's two options. The first is the search settings themselves, which basically says which order of object do I want to search first. So if the phone number was on a contact and an account, it's going to search the contact first. If there are multiple contacts with the same phone number, you can look for the last modified date or the created date, right? So we have to be able to tell the lookup algorithm which order that should go for. And we give you two options. You can either use the list order that's defined here or the date orders that are defined here, one or the other. And then inside the record relationships itself is the actual lookup. So this phone number has a lookup relationship to this account. This is just the Salesforce record. But the idea is that if your user opens a case and says, we got a call from this phone number, I'm not doing a very good job copying it, but I got a call from this phone number and it was wrong, I would come into the lookup table, find it. Here it is. I could just deactivate it, right? So this is how the specific lookup is managed. You're not, don't believe you are creating a lookup here, but you do have the ability to deactivate it, and then you would have to create the new lookup relationship here. So maybe this example is if this relationship was wrong, you could either, again, you could edit it here, or you could just undo the relationship here. We don't create the relationship here. So we have quite a bit more information on the detail page that you're on now. You're watching this video, but that's how we manage the lookup relationships. One thing to keep in mind is the application can't actually know who is on the other end of the phone, right? So Himanshu called from this number. I don't know whether that was actually Himanshu or his assistant or someone else in the office. We have no way to know that, right? We can only know that this was the phone number called, and he called which number that he did call. But that's how the lookup relationship is managed. If you have any questions, definitely send us an email, and we hope that the video was helpful.